You're a beekeeper, right? So you know that amazing feeling of relief when you see your colony has made it through the winter. But what if I told you the most dangerous time for them is actually still ahead? Today, we're going to talk about the single best tool for getting your bees through that final, really critical stretch. So you've done it. You've guided your colony through the coldest, harshest part of the year. It's a huge weight off your shoulders. But here's the twist. The most dangerous period for a beehive isn't actually the dead of winter. Nope. It's the very, very end of it. The danger is absolutely not over just because the calendar says spring is around the corner. And this is exactly why. There's this little window of time that beekeepers call the starvation gap. See, as the weather warms up just a tiny bit, the queen starts laying more eggs, the colony's population starts to boom, and they just start burning through their leftover honey stores like crazy. The problem? The first spring flowers haven't bloomed yet. It's like their pantry's totally empty, but all the grocery stores are still closed for the season. This is that critical, dangerous window where a perfectly healthy colony can literally starve to death. So, how do we get them across that gap? What's the solution? Well, the answer is a really simple but incredibly powerful lifeline that honestly every beekeeper should have in their toolkit, and that is bee fondant. Okay, so what in the world is bee fondant? First things first, this is not the stuff you find on wedding cakes, not at all. It's a solid patty of sugar and it's formulated specifically for bees. The real key here is that it's inverted sugar. Now that sounds technical, but all it really means is that the complex sugars have already been broken down into simple glucose and fructose. It's kind of like it's been pre-digested for them. This gives the bees an immediate shot of energy without them having to work for it, which is perfect for a colony that's cold, weak, and just trying to hang on. So let's really dive into why this simple little sugar patty is such a total game changer. It has some pretty unique properties, you could almost call them superpowers, that make it the absolute perfect tool for saving a colony in that late winter danger zone. You might be thinking, well, why not just feed them sugar syrup? It's a fair question, but the answer comes down to two things: moisture and temperature. When it's cold, bees are not going to break their warm cluster to go drink some freezing cold liquid. No way. And even worse, that liquid evaporates inside the hive, creates condensation, and then that cold water can drip right back down onto the bees. That can chill them and even lead to disease. Fondant, because it's a solid, just completely avoids both of those potentially deadly problems. And the benefits just keep coming. I mean, obviously it's a direct lifeline against starvation, that's the main point. But you can also add it with almost no disturbance to the hive. You just lift the lid, place it right on top, and close it back up, keeping all that precious heat inside. And like we said, it's fast, easy to digest energy, but this last point, this is just brilliant. It's also a diagnostic tool. If you check back in a few days and they are just tearing through that fondant, you have undeniable proof that they were right on the brink of starvation. You know you did the right thing. Okay, but it's really, really important to understand that fondant is a specific tool for a specific problem. It is not a perfect food. It's not a cure-all, and if you use it the wrong way, it can actually create its own set of issues. So let's take a look at the downsides. This is probably the most immediate physical danger. If the fondant gets too warm from the heat of the hive cluster, it can soften up and turn into a sticky, gooey mess. And if it's not placed correctly right over the cluster, bees can get trapped in it and die. So proper placement is absolutely critical to make sure this lifeline doesn't accidentally become a deadly trap. And here's the other crucial thing to remember. Fondant is basically just an energy bar for bees. It's pure carbs for survival. That's it. What it's missing are all the essential vitamins, minerals, and enzymes that are found in honey. You see, honey is nature's perfect food for bees. Fondant is just a survival ration. It'll keep them alive for sure, but it won't help them thrive. And that leads to these other strategic things you have to think about. Because it doesn't have any protein, fondant won't stimulate the queen to lay more eggs and grow the colony. Even worse, if the bees start storing it in the brood nest, a behavior we call backfilling, it can actually clog up the very cells the queen needs to lay those eggs. On top of all that, it's really hard to mix medicine into it, and you have to be vigilant. A really hungry colony can go through a block of fondant in just a few days. So, we've seen the pros and we've seen the cons. Now, let's put it all together into a smart, actionable plan we can call the fondant strategy. The strategy is really just a simple 4-step process. First up, check. You've got to check your hive's weight regularly. You don't even need a scale. Just tilting the back of the hive will tell you if they're getting dangerously light. Second, if they need it, place the fondant directly over the bee cluster. Third, monitor.
Don't just set it and forget it. See how fast they're eating it. That'll tell you how desperate they are. And finally, step 4, switch. As soon as the temperatures are consistently staying above 50 degrees Fahrenheit or 10 Celsius, switch over to a 1-to-1 sugar syrup to really get that spring growth going.
At the end of the day, using fondant is all about being prepared. Just think of it like an insurance policy against that really dangerous late winter starvation gap. Knowing when to use this tool and how to use it right can literally be the difference between losing an entire colony and watching it just explode with life in the spring. So the question really is your emergency plan ready?